Okay, hi. I welcome you to another video in the 52 book project. I want to read 52 books this year, and every week I try to read one book and create this video where I document my experience and thoughts reading that book um, and share that with you here on YouTube. So, the book that I read this week was by the Swedish author Fredrik Backman, and it's a memoir, um, and it's called Things My Son Needs to Know About the World. Now, this book is a love letter that Frederick Bachman wrote to his son. I think it's a very charming read. I recently read Anxious People by Frederick Bachman, and I saw a movie called A Man Called Otto that was based on his book, A Man Called Ove, and he's a writer I've grown to love. This is different. This is nonfiction, so I was curious about his voice in this book. I've basically folded pages and sections that I wanted to share with you. So this is from page 40 in the book, right here. Oops, right here. So it's just a little passage where he talks about his love for his wife and his son. When you were born, it was like someone carbonated the air in my lungs, like you blew bubbles into my blood through a straw. My entire life was about nothing but me for 25 years, but then your mother came along, and then you came along. And now I wake up in the middle of the night several times a week and have to check you're both still breathing before I can get back to sleep. Can you grasp that? If I'd acted this way before I became someone's dad, they would have locked me up in a padded cell with an iPod full of dolphin songs. So this was really sweet. I thought he has a lot of affection for his family, and he speaks about them very highly in this book. I think what's interesting about this book is the way he has structured his chapters. So if you can see here, it's about random topics like what you need to know about IKEA, what you need to know about soccer, what you need to know about stuff, what you need to know about being a man, what you need to know about God and airports. You learn a lot about Bachman as a person. For instance, in this book, he talks about an incident where he was involved in a shooting, and I I didn't know this, but in his book, Anxious People, there was an incident that involved a shooting, and I somehow feel like both these incidents were connected. I also find out that Backman studied religion and philosophy. He's one of the more popular Swedish writers, but for 4 years he studied religion and philosophy. And he seems to have a fascination with soccer and IKEA, and that also comes into um, the minds of his characters. For instance, Roger in Anxious People really likes building things from IKEA. But yeah, so that was the first passage I wanted to share with you. Let's see, there's another one here. He talks about how we should never let stuff become more important than people. And this is on page 55. This is what he wrote. And we can never allow stuff to become more important than people. Like you. I mean, I've thrown away all my best stuff to make room for your stuff. Because your stuff is more important. And my God, you have a lot of stuff. All parents with small children love to complain about your stuff. These kids sure have a lot of stuff. And yeah, I think in this particular passage, he just talks about how, we have a tendency to accumulate things, but things are not more important than people, so don't give them that importance in your lives. And a lot of these are, simple notes and messages. I think there's this beautiful chapter where he talks about how masculinity has changed. It's called "What You Need to Know About Being a Man," and he talks about what he saw with his father and grandfather, and then what he tried to represent himself. And then he has this line on page 81. I want you to always remember that you can become whatever you want to become, but that's nowhere near as important as knowing that you can be exactly who you are. I hope I was just a dysfunctional prototype. I hope you tell me a million times over what an idiot I am. Because I can't teach you how to be a man. That's something you need to teach me. That's the only way forward. Because they say that sooner or later all men turn into their fathers, and I really hope that's not the case. I hope you become much better. Because the only thing you can give to men who already have everything is a second chance, and you're all of their second chances every day. Your fathers and grandfathers and me, they're tough and they're proud. They make mistakes and they have faults. But all the best things I know about being a man are things I've learned from them. And they became different men when you arrived, better men. We all did. So that was really charming. And this incident, he talks about what it's like being a parent, and he says that when a baby sleeps in the morning, you should not make any sounds, otherwise the baby will get up. And I thought this was really cute. It talks about his relationship with his wife and how he makes this observation that he works better when he doesn't get enough sleep, but his wife doesn't work so well. So he tries to tell his son that it's important that they make adjustments so that their his mother, the kid's mother, and his wife, the writer's wife, gets enough sleep because when she doesn't get enough sleep, the day is really rough for her. So that was really cute. And I think several essays and passages about um, like his family and his love for his family and his admiration for them. I think the people that would enjoy reading this book the most are his wife and his son, but I think it's nice to get a third person perspective on this family bond. I think in this chapter he talks about friends and the different kinds of friends we can have in our life, and he says that he has one friend that he just goes to gas stations and eats hot dogs with. So that's that is what that friendship is about. So you can have different friends for different reasons. And I also think he uses this book as a way to talk to his son about hard conversations. Like he spoke about, I think in the last chapter, which I think was the most touching chapter, he spoke about why he holds his son a little tighter when they're outside is because there was an incident where he was involved in a shooting and the bullet hit his thigh, and he wasn't sure if he would survive, but he did. And when he came back, he realized how important and fragile life is, and really valued every single moment from there. So, yep, it's a nice book. I hope you get a chance to read it. He's an author I've grown to love, and I think you would enjoy his work as well. Thanks for listening to this review of Frederick Backman's Things My Son Needs to Know About the World.